They sling the dirt, and at times at each other. It's Stremme and Stremme on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tire. Here are David and Ashley.
Happy Tuesday, y'all. You know what that means. It is time to catch up on this weekend's dirt short track racing right here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We have a great show for you today. We have joining us Dale McDowell. He ends his 11-year winless streak with the World of Outlaws.
Wait. He's won races.
Not with the World of Outlaws.
I know, but
he's
it's an
won 11-year World of
races.
Outlaws streak that he broke. I'm going to go back to what I was talking about.
Okay.
Before I was rudely interrupted. Brett Kressley, I know I'm probably butchering that slightly. He's impressive. Picks up his first big block mod win at Bridgeport this weekend in only his third start.
Yep.
And last but not least, we have Taylor Cook. He is your Southeast Dirt Modified Series winner at Fayetteville this weekend, which we were in attendance for. We're the Stremmes, by the way, and we're glad that you have joined us today.
Taylor is leading points, picked up his first win of the season, so he had done pretty good. And I thought, heck, let's have him on the show there. I was a little disappointed because I would have loved to have been the upset, but we had set quick time, won our heat, and I probably jumped the gun. I thought I had an engine problem. Come find out, we did a little investigating. I don't think we really did, but we didn't take chances. So
no,
but we don't
take chances on that kind of stuff.
We had a great time, and for all the people, I was talking to I've only been to Fayetteville once, which World Outlaws are going there after the Carolina race on the 30th, and everybody's always like, "Oh, that place, it's rough or this or that."
Track.
Every track always has
It's
reputations, but they did a great job. It was 20-mile-an-hour winds all day.
Yes.
It was in perfect condition, so kudos to them.
It will pump the brakes. Perfect condition for you.
Yeah, what I like.
A lot of other drivers don't like a track that you enjoy, so maybe it wasn't perfect conditions for everyone.
Listen, I like them smooth and slick, so it's a lot of fun. But anyway, and then Mother Nature got the best of what I would call the Midwest.
Midwest.
Everybody.
UV and Northeast got snow. We had snow in Pennsylvania this weekend. We got a little rain in the background here.
The thing is that what I give kudos for is what I followed a lot on social media was tracks said, hey, Friday, Saturday, weather's looking bad. We're going to race Sunday. Mm-hmm. And what better time? And everybody that I saw that had done a great job of getting fans there because you know why? Cup race was on Saturday night. Nothing going on Sunday. And it worked out perfect. So I think that promoters really need to look, and I've always said this, when you put out your schedules, and a lot of them put them out at the end of the year. They put them out before a lot of the
first ones.
And I'm like, listen, you got to understand where you're at on that food chain. You're
You've heard it here first, folks.
Well, I meant, people are going to stay home, watch Cup race, or they're going to go watch a World Outlaw race.
No one cares about asphalt racing when you're a dirt
Listen
fan.
to me, okay? What I'm saying is watch the schedules of maybe it's football or anything else, but I thought that they had done a great job. All the tracks that I had seen, a lot again in that Ohio, Pennsylvania, basically up in that whole area, they had done a fabulous job at that, and again, kudos to them. I thought it was great.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it?
Yeah, you were on a tangent there, so I was just going to let you run with it, but it's fine.
You know what's funny is because
tell me.
Johnny Scott, who's one of our customers, which congratulations to him. He picked up the win at I-80.
Uh-huh.
It was his second night in the IMCA car. But anyways, I'm like, Nebraska, cold. He says, yeah, it's cold. I'm like, wait a minute. The snow is over in Ohio. How are you racing? He's like, oh, no, it's just cold. He won a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Oh, really?
No wonder why I couldn't get a hold of him Sunday.
Absolutely. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, but anyways, he had done a great job. And I had seen, again, when everybody knows I'm a mod guy, I got a lot of respect for late models, but people are like, oh, late model races, you got the Dream, you got the World, you got the I'm trying to think of the racer at Portsmouth, the 100,000 win race.
Dirt Track World Championships?
Dirt Track World Championship, thank you.
You're
But
welcome.
anyways, they have all these big late model races. This week, USMTS comes out, another big modified race. It's going to be called the Summer Soda Nationals, June 23rd through the 25th. 100 laps at I-94 Speedway, Minnesota, $15,000 to win.
Oh, wow.
I'm like,
that's impressive.
Now you see why a lot of late model guys are going modifieds,
Well, and I think I'm glad you mentioned that because I believe that the modified world is picking up and larger races are coming on board. What is it? Mississippi Speedway is having their $40,000 to win.
Yeah.
And they're doing a lot more things. the Renegades of Dirt. They're doing their motorcycle
this weekend
deal this weekend.
Yep.
It's really cool to see a lot of people getting behind the modified series and the open wheel modified series.
They had 28 cars at Fayetteville. Great show for the Southeastern Modifieds. You don't have to pay everything on top, and you're starting to see that more and more. This race here, it's I think they were saying $1,500 start.
Nice.
Kudos all in for putting up big money. You know, I mean, but again, you know, work on some of the start money, everything else. But I looked at that and I go, wow, that is so cool. Late models definitely have their center stage, but modifieds are doing very well. And just like you talked about, Renegades of Dirt going this weekend, their startup. I'm excited because they're back on Hoosier tires. Everybody knows I'm a purple guy. But they're racing for a motorcycle. They're at Tyler County on April 14th. That's on Thursday. Then they're going Friday to Skyline Speedway. And then they're going Wayne County. And guess what?
What?
They're going to be with the Winged All-Stars.
Yes, All-Stars, Tony
Yes.
Stewart's.
On that'd be Saturday. But anyways,
so let me ask you this. Is it a point deal? Is that how they determine who gets the motorcycle?
I really don't know. I'm not running it. So
well, me
I
neither,
got
but I figured you
stuff
would know
I got to
that.
get done. But I think it's what it is you can either get the money or win the motorcycle. So, I mean, who wouldn't take a motorcycle?
I'd take the money.
I wouldn't. I'd take motorcycle, sell the motorcycle, and then get the money. But anyways, you know, so they've done a great job. I talked to a couple guys. They had Billy Moyer. He won at Lucas Oil Speedway. I talked to a couple guys that were out there. It was interesting.
Brian Shirley. We talked to him a few weeks ago. He picked up a win out there.
Yes, Brian Shirley left the World Outlaw race, shot over there, got in there, got racing. I mean, them guys are racing all over. And it's only April. I mean, they're racing like crazy. Like, we had Robbie and Tyler Evans. They come from West Virginia, clear to North Carolina to go race. I think it was like 8 hours of driving. They're like, hey, weather's bad up here. We're coming down here to race. So it's cool seeing that.
When a racer wants
You know why
to
they're
race.
doing that?
Why?
They're able to do it. Fuel prices are down. That's my theories.
Well, speaking of the Southeast Dirt Modified Series, there's some big news that was released yesterday. Why are you giving me big eyes?
I wasn't going to talk about it, but...
Well, why? We talk about other riffraffs that happen.
It was a pretty big thing.
Chris Parker is suspended for the season with the Southeast Dirt Modifieds for an altercation that happened in the grandstands. So,
well, so what happened?
Well, we don't need to go into
this
details
I'm not
of what
taking
happened.
sides. I know both. I was on the track. And
right. So why are you giving your side of the story?
Because I'm going to say this.
Okay.
It's very important. I was on the track. I run one lap to get my start money. So with my other car, anyways, I come in and then they tell me about this fight. Well, I had seen Chris. Whatever happened on the first lap, stuff got tore up. You're going to have altercations with other drivers.
Absolutely.
He had enough time. He walked through the infield, across the racetrack, went looking for another guy that owns a car that wasn't driving it or anything else, and basically assaulted that guy. Needless to say, whatever happened, but he went to the grandstands in the spectator area. So there's a lot of things that I look at that I go, hey, first of all, you got enough time to think about what's going on to cool down. Second of all, you don't go into the grandstands. What happens in the pits happens in the pits. So my hats off are to AMRA and everybody. This needs to be handled. It's not just if it was Chris Parker. It could have been anybody.
Absolutely.
Anybody's, like, I go to the racetrack. It's only you and I have one guy, and I would be really upset. Again, things happen on the racetrack, but to take them up into the grandstands, there was 2 little kids not far from there. So this is a family sport, and I'm sorry, but I stand behind it 100%. And it's not only here. You and Pete did this to Brian Shaw last year.
Really? But
he didn't go in the grandstands. He hit a guy on scales with his car, hit another car. They said, hey, bud, you're off 6 weeks. They got to remember, I mean, we have actions, and for every action, or for every action, there's a reaction.
There you go.
And I mean, we got to think that there's more than just one person in this world. So
that's exactly right. But yeah, so a little bit of drama there this weekend. But what racetrack have you not been to that doesn't have a little drama?
Listen, they have it all over. We've seen
That's right.
highlights, but again, tempers are going to flare. It's over, done with.
Yeah.
I'm sure Chris thinks about it now, and he's like,
Absolutely.
man, I probably should have never done it. Whatever, it happened. But I was still, again, I look around at all the racing going on. When I look at not just Fayetteville was a great show, I talked to Johnny. They had great car count at I-80, Lucas Oil. I'm excited that Illinois area had a little bit of rain. I was following Kenny Wallace. He didn't get to race, but like this weekend at LaSalle, they're pumping. They got a big 1,200 win mod race. There's a lot of areas. I think even I call it Granite City, but it's Tri-City. Gundaker's track. They got a big paying racer for not only modifies but for late models. There's great racing all over, great car turnouts, and great crowds. And I love seeing that.
That's what racing's all about.
Yes.
But we are going to speak to Dale McDowell right here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
It's all over at Martinsville, Virginia. Richard Petty has pulled it off.
Throwback Thursday. Classic MRN race broadcast on MRN.com.
Waltrip will win the track race to turn 3. Earnhardt gets him. Hard into the wall goes Waltrip. Hard goes Earnhardt. Everybody else spins either way.
Out of the number 4 corner down to the line. Neil Bonnet is going to win. The Northwestern Bank 400. He'll beat Waltrip a 2-car length.
What a finish here at North Wilkesboro.
Throwback Thursday. Thursdays at 1 Eastern on MRN.com.
Live sports are the one true reality entertainment, where a single dramatic moment can become timeless. In NASCAR, Motor Racing Network's live broadcasts elevate your senses to the sights, sounds, and struggles taking place on the racetrack.
Keselowski to the bottom of the racetrack. He tries to slide up. Newman is there. Sideways is Keselowski.
The power of radio to the imagination of the listener. Tune in to the Motor Racing Network. Visit MRN.com for an affiliate list in your local area.
Come join us every weekend at America's Tailgate Party, NASCAR USA. Hi, I'm Rob Tanner, your host and master of the grill, as we get you ready for high-octane NASCAR racing with hot laps and hot tracks. We serve up 2 hours of the best hits in country music and keep you up to date with racing news and features you won't find anywhere else. Sit down and have a seat. It's a regular weekend pit stop for country music at the speed of sound, NASCAR USA on the Motor Racing Network.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
You're listening to Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. Joining us now, he picks up the win with the World of Outlaws at Duck River this weekend. It is Dale McDowell. Welcome to the show, Dale.
How you guys doing?
We are doing well. I know that you have won several races. David is a little upset that I said that you broke your winless streak with the World of Outlaws after 11 years. But honestly, how's it feel to be back in victory lane with the World of Outlaws?
Well, it's good. Actually, I don't race but about 4 or 5 of those a year with the World of Outlaws because they're based. I actually race more Lucas stuff just because the region that we race in is Lucas is more in the southeast. But I did follow the World of Outlaws there for a couple of years and won a couple of races. So the only bad part about it is I didn't realize it had been 11 years. That depressed me. Not as much about winning races, just how old I am between then and now.
Yeah, but you've made up. What was it? A couple of years ago, you won the World, wasn't it?
Yeah, we won the Dream. The Dream a couple of years ago, and then I won the World in '05.
See,
and so it's just they have it's a really good series, but they primarily are up in the Northeast. We run them when they're down at Volusia. When you're down there running your mods, that's all World of Outlaw stuff for the late models. Mm-hmm. And then other than that, I think I run with them a couple times a year, and then a Charlotte deal, but I haven't been able to win any of those deals. But so I really didn't realize it had been that long. But like I said, it's actually pretty cool to be able to run with those guys and make it happen.
Mm-hmm. Now you've been, because obviously you don't run a full-time tour anywhere, but you have Boyd Speedway that you own that, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have so much to do with it. I mean, I see nothing but great reviews of the Lucas race that was there a few weeks ago. Talk a little bit about the track and how things are going there.
Well, everything's going well. It's located right here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, so we got a really good location. Lots of areas to draw from in this area. It was primarily a Friday night racetrack. So we've gone in, my partner, David Duplessis, has spent a lot of money upgrading and adding some amenities and some press box, new bathrooms. I mean, just a lot of upgrades to the racetrack. And so when we were able to bring a national series in, like Lucas, to this area, it was a really good turnout. I mean, the race fans around this area don't get to see those guys, on the national side come in often. The closest thing, from around here is a couple hours away, so which is not bad at all. But just the local fans right in this area that support our local tracks, it was a big deal and fun to be a part of. I mean, first part of the day, I was in the water truck and on the grader and all that stuff, and then at the end of the day, I turned into race mode and raced with them that night. So it was a lot of fun. It's definitely opens your eyes to appreciate the promoters in the business around, all the promoters. It doesn't matter what series or what type track or whatever, but definitely opens your eyes to that side of the sport. So I'm learning a lot, but I'm enjoying all of it too.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I wanted to ask, is it easier to be the race car driver or the promoter? Because we always know as the drivers always like to complain about something, whether it's the track surface or whatever it may be. How's it feel to be on the other side of the coin now?
It's really the promoter side of it. It's a huge gamble, on especially when you're doing these big shows, because so many ingredients have to go well. I mean, you need good weather, and you need good track conditions, and so it's a constant battle, to do that. And I have to admit, I probably have complained a time or two about some things and not realize how much actually went into it. We've got a good group of guys out there that work with me, and that actually allows me to still go out and race some and compete around, and not have to be just tied down here all the time. But it is different. Actually, it is. It's a lot different. The racing side of it, I understand, the racing side of it because I've done it for so long. So this is new. This is our third year, and I'm learning daily. So it's just something to add into the memory bank.
What, if you could tell the fans a little bit of how, so you had this date. Obviously, it's a big show, bringing it to Boyd Speedway, Lucas Oil Series. How did you get to go about picking that date, and then also, whether you got the choice to pick it and fit it in your schedule for the right timing?
Well, we actually discussed bringing, the Lucas and the World of Outlaws in, and we kind of did it at the last minute, David. And Knoxville, Iowa, end of the year last year is when we actually did it, or when we set the date. But really, and it's a compliment and a feather in their cap, I mean, both series are really booked.
Yeah.
So you almost have to wait for somebody to, kind of get off of a date or something. And we were looking at a fall date that would give us a little bit more time to get the racetrack ready. But the spring date opened up, and so we weren't quite ready. We had some rain the day before, so we lost 5 or 6 acres of parking due to the rain, and during the winter we actually had some flooding and stuff in this area, and so we didn't get to where we wanted to be, but we were close, and we had a great turnout and a great show. But basically, I mean, man, those guys are booked. I mean, I think they've got over 50 races in each series, or close to it, and so that says a lot to the kind of show they put on and the competition level. I mean, there's just an overabundance amount of good competition and good drivers, young guys, older guys, mixed in there, and so I mean the sport's strong. I mean, especially on the touring side, and so getting them in here was a big deal, and we look forward to making an annual, and we're going to actually try to add some other stuff along as we go and grow.
So as one of the things, and you hit on it, is dirt racing is doing very well right now. You have Kressley that come in as a title sponsor to the World of Outlaws. You have Lucas that has put so much into their late model series. Not only there's other, I wouldn't even say, All Stars had. I'm trying to think of the ATV that come in. I was just reading about it, but anyways, they come in as a title sponsor. Articat, yeah.
Yep.
What is the one thing that you see? I wouldn't say is, hey, why are they coming in, but how can we keep this going? Something that you look at, you're like, hey, guys, we really need to focus on this to keep the strength of dirt track racing growing.
Well, I mean, the competition is obviously the feeding force.
Yep.
You know, that's I mean, so with what these guys are doing, you know, and to be able to come in, you know, and run a show, and you got the qualifying, and you got the heat races, and you got, you know, B mains, and all of these things, you know, run within about 3 hours, and you got the best in the business, you know, doing it. And so there's some corporate involvement, you know, sponsorship wise, you know, that's grown. And the biggest thing with dirt racing in all areas that we go to is it's more family friendly.
Yep.
You know, we're a lot more kids are there at the racetracks than years past, and we see that number growing.
Really?
You know, and obviously the youth is the future of our sport. And you know, so we see a lot of young guys coming in, and you know, and I actually noticed it a little bit more, you know, several years ago when we was doing the driving school and things like that, to notice all the young guys that were coming in. And so that being a part of it, I think just the quality of show, quality of drivers, and everything is just a huge part of the growth of the sport.
Yeah, and I asked you that because I when I think of you and when you're talking about your racetrack, how much is there? Because you get to go out, you get to tour around, run your late model car, you have a racetrack that you can bring back to your racetrack. You go, hey, I was out there in Missouri and I seen this. Is there a benefit, and what have you been able to use to bring back to Boyd Speedway?
Well, I think you know, a lot of the marketing things that the people do. I mean, like there we have big wheel races. Just talking about the kids, you know, we'll have big wheel races and bicycle races. And we had an old school bus that we fixed up, and when we're packing the track, we'll put kids in, you know, to let them ride around when we're packing the track. So I see a lot of this stuff when we go out. And you're right. I mean, just like our race program, you know, when you see someone with something, you know, that'll feel like it'll help your race program, and the racetrack business is the same way.
Yeah.
You know, so just seeing that some of those things, those ideas, when you come back in, to incorporate them, you know, and tie it into the community and something different.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what, you know, on a weekly level, a lot of racetracks, you know, are struggling a little bit. I mean, it's just that's just the way it is.
It was like a broken record. It's
yes, and the big shows, you know, when the big shows come in, they pack the house. So I think the problem is you know, there's so many other things to do, and social media, so many other people know what other things are going on. So what I hear all the time is, when's your next special?
Yeah.
You know, so as a promoter, you know, we work toward, you know, having something special every week, whether, you know, there's something to do with the kids, or I have that two-seater, and so we'll give ride-alongs, you know, during intermission break or something when I'm in. And so things like that, you know, are the new ideas, I think, you know, that we can bring in.
You ever have to clean up somebody's mess after they ride in that two-seater?
I had one woman
I
to
knew it.
wet her pants, and that was it.
I knew it.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Well, hey, we got to take a commercial break here, but I want to have you back on because, I mean, it's funny because, like, you and Francis, there's a bunch of guys, and we're going to have to line it up where we only maybe have two guests because there's so much that you guys have seen
that you guys
and knowledge
bring to the table.
And that I think it's very interesting that people find also interesting too. So again, congratulations on your win, and we look forward to seeing you at one of the tracks coming up.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you and Ashley for doing the job that you guys do, and we appreciate you taking note of the sport that we love so much, and appreciate all those race fans out there supporting us.
Awesome. Thanks, Dale. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Love that guy.
Well, it's something that he hit on so much, and it's
Absolutely.
what I was saying earlier about people waiting. Hey, we're going to race Sunday. It's timing. There's so many things that go. But the one thing when he said, hey, people are asking, following social media, hey, when's your next special, this and that. You know what? Like that Lucas Oil race that come to Boyd Speedway, it happened once this year. You got one time to see it.
Get there.
So everybody in that Chattanooga area, they're like, man,
That's
we got to
exactly
go,
right.
you know. And that's what makes it different. And I think that when he talked about kids, one of the things I love in the West Virginia area, they have this mini wedge that the kids run these go-karts, look like dirt late model bodies, before the racing program starts. They started it in Michigan now this year, so there's a lot of things we have to change. It's entertainment.
What's the future of our sport? And attention spans have changed so much now that we have social media and everything that we have. So it's really cool to see that he's got both sides to be able to contribute to what he's doing in his racetrack. But speaking of a young gun, we have Brett Kressley joining us here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
O'Reilly. Improve visibility and save $8 instantly when you replace your worn wiper blades with a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get premium blades that ensure clear vision in any weather and save $8 instantly on a pair of Bosch Icon wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, this is Eli Gold, the host of NASCAR Live. You know, we've been taking your calls every Tuesday night for over 30 years, but now you don't have to wait for Tuesday to let us know what's on your mind. Call Motor Racing Network's fan hotline at 844-4-ASK-MRN.
You know, I enjoyed this past weekend's race. I didn't understand why Danica...
He can dish it out, but he can't take it. When he's banging into Joey.
Be a part of the voice of NASCAR. Call 844-4-ASK-MRN.
MRN's Wing Nation on MAV TV.
Hi, I'm Donnie Schatz. This is Paul McMahon.
Hi, I'm Brian Brown.
I'm Steve Post.
And this is Kendra Jacobs.
Join us every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time for MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV.
I'm Kyle Larson.
Hi, I'm Sammy Swindell.
I'm Kerry Madsen.
We talk with sprint car winners, newsmakers, and personalities, and give you the latest sprint car news every week.
I'm Rico Abreu. This is Wing Nation with Steve and Kendra.
MRN's Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.
Saturdays at 9:30 on MAV TV.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We're your hosts, Ashley and David Stremme. Now joining us on the hotline, he picks up his first big block win after only 2 races. Brett Kressley, welcome to the show, Brett.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
So, did you expect to come out with a win quite this quickly with your new venture in the big block world?
Absolutely not, to be honest. Stepped up to 358 modifieds this year, so I had a feeling maybe we could pull off a win in the 358 division, but doing a couple special events with the big block, and luckily enough Sunday night we put ourselves in a good spot in the heat, redrew a good spot for the feature, and were able to stay out front and pick up that win. So, you know, absolutely, I did not imagine, you know, I'd be able to pick it up in the third time in the car, but luckily, you know, we made it happen.
So when I was reading about you winning in your third start, it was talking about in your father's car and everything. Mm-hmm. So is Dad saying, hey, we're going to kind of go race this thing at some other big block races?
Well, kind of. I never actually planned to run his car this year. I was building a motor to run these special events, but my engine builder got a little tied up, so it got to the point where I was like, hey, Dad, you know, that thing's just sitting there. You think I could maybe, you know, borrow it? And he's like, yeah, you know, just don't wreck it. That's basically all he said, and he's been pleasantly surprised with the results so far, I think, as many people have. So I'm just having fun, and I appreciate him giving the opportunity.
Absolutely. You talk about the results. You've had some impressive showings, starting deep in the field, making the top 10s the last 2-3 weeks. Absolutely remarkable after only the amount of starts that you have. Going into this year, you said you were only going to run a couple special shows. Now that you've picked up your win so early, you have been so competitive. Are your expectations changing for this year now?
I mean, I still, you know, am I going to be disappointed if I don't pick up any more wins? Not really. I just want to try and have, you know, consistent top 10 finishes and, you know, try and get as many laps as I can. You don't get any experience on the hook if you wreck or put yourself in a bad position. So I'm just going to try and, you know, run as many races as I can and finish them, and that's as good as a win to me.
That's a great attitude to have because a lot of guys don't realize that when you're on that record, you're not getting seat time. But it wouldn't surprise me if your phone starts ringing. I mean, it's impressive to get your win in your third start. You know, you want to run the 358s. Maybe, because I've seen that in that big block world, there are guys that drive and you can go run their cars. You know, is that something that, say, throughout this summer you'd like to go do?
I mean, actually, in the 358 division, I'm driving for Norm Hansel. We set something up over the winter, so in that, I'm running Friday nights my own car, Saturday nights his. So, I mean, so far, I've been lucky enough to pick up a ride. So, you never know what the future may hold, but you know, we'll see what happens. I'm running my dad's car for now till I get my motor department all figured out, and we'll go from there.
It's funny you talk about them engine guys, because I mean, I'm lucky because my guy he gets me stuff on time, but most of them, they're always late, it seems like, which is not a problem because that thing, if it breaks, it's an expensive piece. So you make sure you just tell them, hey, take your time there, bud, and get that thing together.
Yeah, I have a great relationship. I'm not, putting anybody down with my engine builder, Morgantini. It's just, I understand how it is. I mean, you just get backed up, promised, and like I said, I have other connections or routes I could go, so I wasn't going to bug him. When I get it, and that's that.
Hey, Brett, maybe you could help me with this. So I was reading about the whole deal that went on with Hearn, and I was just reading a little more this week, and I don't quite understand all of it. And I don't want to put you on the spot. If you don't want to talk about this, that's fine. But he's driving. He had another guy's motor in his car, so forth. What is all the rules, and what the heck went on with that? Do you know? Could you fill us in on it?
It actually dates back to a little bit of an incident that happened last year at Eastern State. There's a guy that actually he got second to that he didn't necessarily feel like he had a legal engine, but they never teched it or looked any further into it.
Yeah.
So I think he maybe was just trying to prove that, that engine, if you have that package there, look what the results can be,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he refused tech just to prove a point, I believe, and it's just one of those deals. It's
And it wasn't Hearn, but it was a guy that owned a motor, is what I had heard. But I just thought, with them, with the modifieds up there, I'm like, well, I just thought they had big block cars, and then a few years ago I was like 358s, and now it's like I didn't realize there was all these rules. So I'm learning, but I love the big block cars. Is that something? Do you want to move to late models, or are you enjoying the big block or the what I call center steer cars?
Right. Honestly, I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. I have all the stuff already. The cars. It's hard to jump complete ship and invest in a whole another type of racing. But with our business and the hours I put in at work, it works for me right now.
You talk about work. So what do you do Monday through Friday before you head off to the racetrack?
We own a used truck dealership in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So I'm here pretty much 8 till 5:30, then 5:30 on, work on the race cars at night every day. So that's pretty much my life.
Yeah, that's what. It's funny that people, them fans, and everybody that say goes to local racing, they don't understand the time it takes because you work a normal job, then you get off and you're like, well, hey, I'm gonna go work on my race car, which is, it's fun to you, but it's almost like a second job, isn't it?
Yeah, you can put just as much hours in the shop as you can at your normal, 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job. And it's basically that time really pays off in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I have to ask because I read it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm just curious. I heard that you were out west and you're on Family Feud. When can we see that episode?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That will be in June sometime. They didn't release the dates to us yet, but they said definitely June sometime. So that was a great experience to go out there for the weekend and do that. That was awesome. My uncle was fortunate enough to get that all set up for me.
So cool. Did the family get along while you were out there? Or?
Oh yeah, we did all right together.
I just want to meet Steve Harvey. Is he really as much of a jokester as he seems to be?
He's a really, really awesome guy. He's a great host for that show and a great person in general. He's great. He treats you like $1 million out there. So
yeah,
I had a blast.
You crack any jokes about what was that, Miss America or whatever he was?
I figured he might have been all worn out with jokes by now. I'm sure there's plenty of people give him a hard time, so I didn't really get into it.
Yeah, I just think of, I mean, he is a great guy, but every time I hear his name, I just laugh because my wife had me watching that at the end, and I'm like, it doesn't look like, are they supposed to be doing that? You know, and I'm asking questions, and then all that turns out, but.
Anyhow, we've gotten so far off track.
Sorry.
All with just an episode
Heck
of
with
Family
dirt racing.
Feud.
We're going to talk about Family Feud and everything. Steve Harvey, I mean.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right, so when you're racing this weekend, Friday and Saturday?
It'll actually be a 3-day.
Okay.
3 days this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You hitting up, what is it, the South Jersey shootout at Bridgeport?
Correct. The Brett Deo Series is coming to Bridgeport on Sunday, so that'll complete the trifecta for the weekend as long as the weather holds out.
That'll
Awesome.
be good.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Hopefully it'll be a top 10, if not another win in there to come real
I'll say
soon.
top 10. I want to see him win again.
Well, he started 30th, what was it, like twice and ended up in the top 10, top 8, actually, the last few races. So.
What was it on that deal? I got to ask you, is it, can you pick different tires, or is it a spec tire or anything?
They pretty much open the tire rule. It's an American Racer tire, but when you run Brett's shows, he pretty much opens it up to any compound. So
Yeah.
definitely, that's one of the hardest. Shocks tires are pretty much the two hardest decisions, really, in our sport. Just trying to pick those out. The tires are such a big thing with preparation and just getting the right compounds. I mean, that can make you or break you, really.
Preparation meaning grooving and siping, not.
Correct.
Yeah. We wanted to clarify that to a lot of listeners. Because you get in some areas and they're like, preparation, he's putting that stuff on there, But no, I knew what you meant.
Only.
Yeah, but it is funny. And I love, I run the, it's a open modified, I call it. A lot of people say, them IMCA mods or E-mods, I guess. But anyways, I love when you have tire selection. It puts on a great show. Like as a driver, you can go, I'm going to go a little softer, but I'm going to take it easy here, and hopefully track goes this way. It's a lot of fun when you do have that, and I think, again, it's very entertaining. What are your thoughts on that?
No, it definitely is. I mean, that guy can jump out to the lead and set the world on fire, and all of a sudden, halfway through, the other guy's tires start to come in, and you flip-flop the top 5 positions. It just can go either way.
Yeah. I know that Stuart Friesen. I watch him every time in them cars, and it's like, you see him coming, like Ray Walsh says, he'll be honking up top on that hard, and it's like, man, where's he coming from? And there he is. I mean, it's amazing to watch him, but he's always got that hard right rear on there firing up.
Right. Exactly. Those guys, like most of those, Super Dirt Series guys that follow that normally always make the right decisions or go with a little harder compound because they know they need to be there at the end.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, Brett. We appreciate you being on the show today, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of the season.
Alrighty, I really appreciate you having me, and maybe we can talk again later in the year.
Sounds great.
Yes, I hope so.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brett.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Ashley, what do you do with our Hercules? You kidnap him or something?
No,
Hercules guy?
Posty must have moved him earlier.
Post and Kendra did on Wing Nation.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I didn't take
We'll
him.
have to get after them on that. Anyways, that's pretty cool. I know we got kind of off beaten path with
Slightly.
Steve
Family
Harvey
Feud,
and,
yes.
Everything.
Well, it's not often you get to talk to somebody who's been on
No,
Family
man.
Feud, and I think it's cool because I've always wanted to be on it ever since I was a little kid.
Brett Hearn can't say he's been on Family Feud. I mean, nor can Friesen. So, I mean,
goodness.
Although Friesen probably has had some Family Feuds with Jessica.
You're just lighting them right up today. I love it.
No.
Hey, y'all, real quick. We want to ask for your help and in exchange give you a chance to win your own Google Chromecast. In an effort to give you the kind of web programming you want, we're asking if you'll take a quick online survey at www.mylistenerstudy.com. The survey is completely anonymous and will help us give you more of what you like. And don't forget to enter for the Google Chromecast. Again, that's mylistenerstudy.com. We really appreciate your feedback and best of luck.
You enter yet?
No.
You should.
I don't know if
I
we're
like
allowed
that
to.
Google Chrome.
I don't know if we're allowed to, as since we're not eligible. Yeah, exactly.
Sucks.
But
I'm gonna get somebody from my family.
That's not Family Feud. What is that? That's like Wheel of Fortune or something.
I don't care.
Price is Right.
Anyways.
That's right. Anyhow, Taylor Cook joins us next here on Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Motor Racing Network, glad to have you aboard for our coverage of practice, something we will be doing all throughout the year.
They are pretty close in practice.
You said you learned a lot in practice.
We can have a good, clean practice. How many teams are going to opt out of practice?
Get this practice session underway.
As we close out practice.
What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
We are talking practice. Sprint Cup Series practice on the Motor Racing Network. Join us all season long on MRN.com and the MRN app. Looking to find the best place for all the latest NASCAR Sprint Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, K&N, and Modified Series news? MRN.com is the place to go. Your online home for NASCAR news, opinion, podcasts, videos, race schedules, results, and statistics. Award-winning motorsports writers keep you informed and up to date on all the latest breaking NASCAR news and in-depth stories and opinion. MRN.com, your online home for all the NASCAR information you're looking for. This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back to Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires. We're the Stremmes, and we wish that you could join us in our breaks, but we can't.
Maybe we should do that like after hours thing.
You know, what is it, the radio show that does, after?
Ace and TJ.
Yeah, don't they do like something after the show or shenanigans like
Anyways.
that? Anyhow.
Let's talk to our winner.
Yes, we are going to speak to our winner. He picked the win at Fayetteville Motor Speedway. He's the driver of the number 21. Taylor Cook, welcome to the show, Taylor.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So you put on a whale of a show this weekend. Talk about, the track surface. David loved it. I want your opinion on it. You've got a new car underneath you this year.
He won.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know if a dry, slick track was at your type of track.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, as much experience as we have racing on the tracks in Ohio and stuff, it wasn't too slick for us. It had a lot of grip down on the bottom where we all kind of grouped down on the bottom in the feature, and I ran a lot of the race almost wide open throttle, so it actually came around for me when we got to the bottom. It had good bite, and it was really abrasive and chewed up some tires, but it suited my driving style, obviously.
I love it when you said it wasn't as slick as in Ohio, because it is funny. You go to different parts of the country, and you're like, first thing you hear, oh, man, this place gets slick, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, and it was
the locals.
I think what she meant was it was slick for Fayetteville. But, hey, with what I thought was cool, we ended up, we had some engine issues, and I got to watch some of the race, and here you're out there in this lead, and here your girlfriend is, like, leaning over the tires in turn one, trying to tell you to slow down. Were you able to see her any?
It's funny you should mention that. I watched the Periscope video that she had taken, and her and my mom were screaming at me from the stands to slow down. And I wasn't able to see her until the caution, and by that time she thought I had saw her, so she stopped leaning over the fence at that point to tell me to slow down. But
I thought she was gonna fall into the racetrack. But that's your
traffic got dicey.
Yeah, but that is your whole crew, so people understand. You go there with your mom and girlfriend pretty much all the time, right?
Yeah. We were fortunate enough to have my dad come to the racetrack the first couple races of the year, but now that our schedule kind of separates from the NASCAR schedule and we go all over Ohio and stuff, now Dad won't get to come to many races. It'll just be Mom, Chelsea, and I.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So who's the crew chief ultimately?
Depends on who you ask.
You better be careful.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
You put him in a trouble spot. I don't like that.
Well, I just remember at Tyler County, was it last year or a year before that, you had wrecked your car, and I remember standing there, and I was holding the flashlight, and your mom's running out with stuff, and it's just so cool. It's total grassroots racing, and that's what I love about what you guys are doing, just because it is your family. And like you said, your dad travels a lot with what he does, and to just see them really jump on board and do whatever needs to be done is really just awesome.
Yeah, and their support is, I don't think anybody truly realizes how much support they give me. My dad, Chelsea, and my mom were all out there Sunday washing the car and getting it ready to go up north. It's a full-on family effort, and we all enjoy doing it.
So you're leading the points in the Southeastern Modified Series. Is that the goal, to go after the championship?
Absolutely, it's a big opportunity for a small race team like us. Building a new car was hard on us over the winter, so to wrap up that points championship and put $5,000 in our pockets would be huge for us. So our main focus is to stay in contention for that, as well as race other races in between.
So you talked about going north this weekend. Are you hitting up the Renegades? Going to try to win you a motorcycle?
I'm going to try and win $10,000.
Yes, this is my kind of guy. I said the same thing.
You win that motorcycle and sell it.
I'm not much of a salesman. Cash is king.
Yeah, but that so and you'll go to you know, obviously you said Ohio. What are some of the tracks that you like to go back home to go race?
We're going to one of them this weekend. I absolutely love going to Tyler County, and it's not really a hometown race for us. It's still a long drive for all our Toledo family members, but I love that racetrack. And we've raced a couple of times at Oakshade Speedway there in Lafayette, Ohio, and intend on going back there for the end of the Hill Tour there in the summer. That would be considered, I guess, my home track for the Toledo, Ohio area.
And you know, is there anything else on the radar? Go to Illinois or Southern Indiana, or you just kind of stick to the eastern side of the states?
Right now we're just looking mostly West Virginia, parts of Ohio and Kentucky. We don't plan on venturing that far west just because it is such a big chore for us to haul all the way out there, and fuels, they're not giving fuel away, so it's tough for us to make it all the way out there, and especially with a full-time work schedule, it's hard. So at least this year we don't plan on going too far west.
So who drives a hauler home? Does Mom get to drive any?
I usually drive at home, but by the time we're driving to the racetrack to get to the race, I'm so wore out that Mom usually has to wheel the thing down the road because I don't do well in street vehicles. I start to doze off. So she usually has to drive us to the racetrack, and then I'm so amped up I drive home afterwards.
Well, that's not too bad then. That works out. I mean, heck, my mom's driving me to the track too, and I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to take a nap, you know. But,
exactly.
I don't blame you there, but it is cool, you know, seeing you and your family, your dad race. Obviously, he had a big asphalt background, and along with your uncle. What made you go dirt racing?
To be honest, that'd be a better question for Dad. He kind of steered our path towards the dirt car, and a lot of it was just cost, the sheer cost of dirt racing as opposed to asphalt racing.
Yeah.
It's just, instead of buying 2 sets of tires every week, you might have to buy 3 tires every week. So the cost was a huge thing, I'm sure. And quite frankly, I don't have a lot of asphalt experience, but I do enjoy the dirt racing, and I think I would enjoy it more than full-time asphalt racing.
Yeah, listen, I'm going to tell you, it is a lot more fun, and I think that it was cool seeing your dad. I've talked to him a few times, and the thing is with dirt racing, and people don't understand, you know, you're talking about you're going to West Virginia this weekend. You're just in eastern North Carolina. If you're asphalt racing, you're not going to be able to do that at an affordable price, and you know, you're able to go around, run, and have fun, and still, you know, make a little bit of money.
Yeah, absolutely. The dirt racing is really awesome in that you get a lot of experience because you can go to Ohio, like we spoke about earlier, and the tracks will be slicker than the slickest track in North Carolina. So you can travel around and hone all your separate skill sets, slick track racing, heavy racing, just based on where you are in the country. And I find that pretty cool about dirt racing, too.
Well, I know you work in the asphalt world. You talked about it a little bit. Tell us exactly what you do what you work with your dad, correct?
I don't anymore. My dad is my dad works at Stewart Haas Racing, and I work at Joe Gibbs Racing in the electrical department in the Cup shop. So we build the wiring harnesses for the car and maintain all the ECUs, digital dashes this year. So that's what I do on a daily basis.
So you don't. So I mean, I knew that, but you don't. When you're sitting down at the table, it's not like, "Hey, Dad, we're doing this at work," or "Hey, son, what's going on there?" It's kind of like pretty strict business.
Yeah, when he parted from Gibbs and we started working at two organizations, that was the first thing that came up was, all right, no more work talk. We're strictly family, and we're strictly talking about our personal racing, but no more work talk at the table.
And your dad is pretty professional at that, and I give him that because I could see that,
It's tough.
and that's how we're able to work at both places. But is there a lot of stuff that you see, say on the Cup side, that you go, you know what, I like all that, but I really enjoy my dirt racing?
Absolutely. I mean, the Cup racing is as big as it is for a reason. I mean, it's got a lot of fans, and they put on some really great shows. But the thing that I like about the dirt racing is, even though, let's say, Aero is becoming bigger in dirt racing, it's still not to the level where the Cup cars are. It's you have to pay attention to it, but it's not going to make or break you if you're not spot on. Whereas with the Cup racing, if you don't have everything, if you don't have your T's crossed and your I's dotted, then you're not going to run up front. Whereas the dirt racing, you still have to work hard and you still have to continue to try and get better, but you can miss it by a little bit and still be competitive.
Yeah. No,
So
I agree
true.
totally. It's funny at how people come up and they're like, "Hey, do you do this?" Or, how do you compare? I'm like, listen, there's no comparison, but what I love about dirt racing, and I watch in that main event there on Saturday, you were driving a car, you drove it really nice in the corner, very disciplined. A lot of guys, they're out there and they're just on the gas, and I'm like, man, just lift a little bit and you'll probably go a little faster. But and a driver, I should say, my point is, a driver plays a lot more of a role, or can, in the dirt world. The asphalt, if your car's not right, it's hard to make that up as a driver.
Absolutely, and that's where we've been racing the Southeastern Racing Series, and tires have become a big thing in the South. And that's one thing I told Steve Summerlin, the promoter for the Southeastern Series, is I'm very fortunate into being able to travel like I do, and racing at the different types of racetracks where when you go up north and the tracks are so slick that you're forced to drive the car kind of like an asphalt car, and that helped me down here because the tracks are so abrasive that you can't drive the car sideways all the time. So it's the driver can make a bad car better on the dirt, whereas in the asphalt you pretty much seems like you got what you got.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that's what, as a driver, I love tire management, but as an owner, I hate when I got to buy tires and I'm looking at a tire there's nothing wrong with it, but I got to throw it away because it's done heat cycled, where at least now you're wearing them and you're doing stuff and it's like, hey, it's not that bad. But
And they were worn this weekend.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Some didn't even hold air for some of them guys. But anyways, we appreciate you coming on the show. Good luck to you this weekend up north.
Yes.
And
get you some money.
Yeah,
not
or
a
motorcycle. Come on. Your dad liked that motorcycle,
My grandpa did say if I win all three features, he'll give me his motorcycle.
Well, okay. You didn't tell us that, so get the money. But, again, thanks for coming on our show here.
Thank you very much.
Love it. Thanks. Okay.
What else you got?
Nothing really.
What do you mean nothing really?
Well, we have to do a break, and then we can talk about the upcoming races.
All
you want
right.
to do that? You go
take
with
a
that?
Hercules tire break.
All right. You heard it. Hercules Tires presented. They present Slingin Dirt. I love it. Slingin Dirt presented by Hercules Tires here on MRN.com.
Slingin Dirt returns in 1 minute on MRN.com.
O'Reilly. If you do-it-yourselfers are looking for the right tool for the job, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale. You'll find a wide selection of Power Torque tools on sale now and guaranteed for life. Power Torque Tools DIY Day Sale going on now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Before you set your fantasy racing lineup, check in with our experts to get the inside line on who's fast and who's last entering the race weekend. Robbie Mays and Tyler Burnett take you inside the facts, stats, and latest news from the track so you have everything you need to set your team and win the weekend. Log on to MRN.com and enter the Media Center every Friday. It's the Inside Line on demand and only on the Motor Racing Network.
When the smoke settles, the entertainment never stops.
You know, it's everybody just trying to say my last name. They just don't finish it.
On race weekends, your favorite NASCAR personality is an everyday superhero.
And here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr.
But when they leave the racetrack, they're just like everyone else.
For the most part, our hearts were wagon makers.
I'm Susie Armstrong. Join me on a daily journey as we discuss the hot topics and engaging personalities of NASCAR Nation. Ned Jarrett's World of Racing, weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
This is Slingin Dirt on MRN.com. Now back to Ashley and David Stremme.
Welcome back. We appreciate you listening to Slingin Dirt, presented by Hercules Tires.
Hey, when they reschedule that Commonwealth 20,000 win at Virginia Speedway?
I don't know if they did or not. I think they just canceled it, to be completely honest.
They should have
with you.
raced that with everybody else canceling, because I was thinking you had Lucas Oil, you had World Outlaws, and I'm like, man, well, now a lot of those guys, but like Dale said, who knows with schedules and doing everything. I'm sure
not only
they're
that,
looking.
but I don't know if Jamaica got snow or not.
Jamaica,
Virginia.
Oh yeah. I'm sure it was cold up there, anyways. But
you know
what I seen
Motor Speedway
was cool.
Tell me.
Is Davenport? Now I follow him on Twitter and stuff, and
still fishing.
He got this big striper. So now all the fans are like sending him pictures of their fish they're catching. And Clint Elkins sends him a fish. I don't even think the fish was alive. It looked like a little goldfish or something. But
well, are you surprised coming from Clint?
No,
but
exactly. It was cool. I just thought, hey, they're Superman's fishing, and everybody's like, hey, this is great.
Yeah. Maybe we can start a fishing tournament with like the guys of World of Outlaws and Lucas.
Yeah, I mean, Bloomer.
Bloomer.
I don't even think he's on Twitter, but anyways, hey, they'll all be at Batesville, right?
Batesville for the Bad Boy 98.
Landers will be looking forward to that.
That's right. South Jersey has the South Jersey Shootout at Bridgeport.
Who's your pick for Lucas this weekend, you think? I mean, it's hard to go against Davenport.
Yeah.
Bloomer's going to be tough
and
there.
And it's Batesville, so that brings a whole nother...
Yeah, Bloomquist, a lot of them guys.
I don't know.
When they show up for this big money race, they're on
It's
kill.
on. It's on. But anyhow, later today, you can find Slingin Dirt in the Media Center at MRN on their YouTube channel and on iTunes at Race Day Nation. We appreciate you for joining us today. And you got anything to add to that? Because your closing last week was amazing.
They loved it. I was like, just go to social media.
Just go to social media. That's right. Slingin Dirt.
Tweet me some racetrack. I want to see some racetrack pictures. Tweet them to me.
Tweet us, Slingin Dirt.
This has been Slingin Dirt with Ashley and David Stremme. Listen every Tuesday at 11 Eastern on MRN.com for more news, interviews, and opinion from dirt tracks all over America. Slingin Dirt is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.